The prophet Yaqub, or Jacob, alayhi salam, was a pious man. He lived in Canaan, some 30 miles north of Jerusalem. He and his family lived in tents. He had 12 sons. Yusuf alayhi salam was the second youngest of them all. One day, Yusuf alayhi salam had an unusual dream in which 11 stars and the sun and the moon all bowed down to him. When his father heard about this dream, he understood that great things lay in store for his young and best loved son. The 10 brothers became so resentful that they began to hate him. They would go off to look after the family's flocks, grumbling and muttering. They became so jealous of their father's love for this younger brother that they banded together and hatched a plot to kill him. One day, they took him pretending that they were going out for a picnic. Coming close to a well, they took him unaware, and seizing him from behind, they dragged him to the well and threw him in it. Yusuf alayhi salam landed on the dry bottom of the well with a thud. There would be no climbing those slippery sides to escape. But he was a brave boy and did not cry. His courage never failed him. He turned towards his Lord for help. While his dear father sorrowed for him, Yusuf alayhi salam lay at the bottom of the dark well for about 3 nights. In the meanwhile, a caravan from Syria heading for Egypt camped near the well. One of the caravan people threw his bucket into the well to fetch some water. But to his surprise, when he pulled up his bucket, there was a good-looking boy clinging to it. But to his surprise, when he pulled up his bucket, there was a good-looking boy clinging to it. The caravan people took him to Egypt and sold him to an Egyptian prince who was called the Aziz. The Aziz took this innocent and good-natured boy to his wife and told her to take good care of him. In this way, Allah helped him to reach from an unknown village to the most advanced city of that time. Thus Allah helps those who remain steadfast and follow his path. Now the story continues, part 2. The king's dream. Although Yusuf alayhi salam was innocent, Aziz's wife imprisoned the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. She put him in prison. Prison opened another chapter in the life of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Here he met 2 prisoners. They were servants in the royal court who had displeased the king. Both of them had strange dreams, meanings of which were correctly given by Yusuf alayhi salam. One of them, a cupbearer, was freed and taken back into the king's service. One day, the king dreamt that 7 lean cows were eating up 7 fat ones, and 7 green ears of corn were being replaced by 7 dried up ones. No one was able to say what this unusual dream meant. At that time, at the request of the cupbearer, Yusuf alayhi salam interpreted the dream. He explained that in the lands of Egypt, there would be 7 years of prosperity. Prosperity means richness, wealth. But following these 7 years of abundance, there would be 7 years of dreadful famine, meaning there'd be no food. The king greatly liked his explanation. There and then, he appointed Yusuf alayhi salam to look after the granaries and made him responsible for providing enough grain to meet all needs during the foretold famine 7 years later. Yusuf alayhi salam had become the most trusted minister of the king of Egypt. The 7 good years passed, and then, as foretold by Yusuf alayhi salam, there came the 7 lean and hungry years where no crops would grow and famine held the land in its grip. Back in the land of Canaan, Yaqub alayhi salam and his sons were hit by the famine too. Therefore, the 10 sons traveled to Egypt in search of grain. When they came to the chief of the storehouses in Egypt, Yusuf alayhi salam recognized them. However, they did not recognize that minister. They did not recognize Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam received them honorably, asked them about their family. Yusuf alayhi salam gave them ample supply of grain and put their money back in their packs. The brothers made further visits. Ultimately, Yusuf alayhi salam revealed his identity to them and forgave them for their crime. He asked them to bring their aged parents. Finally, the family was reunited, and Yusuf alayhi salam embraced his parents and did them honor by making them sit on the throne, saying, "Welcome to Egypt in safety, inshallah, Allah wills." Seeing the splendor and high position of Yusuf alayhi salam, they all fell and prostrated, bowed. This, Yusuf alayhi salam reminded his father, is the meaning of my dream, which my Lord has fulfilled.